afternoon, Professor. So today I'm going to be teaching a class with my youngest daughter, Emily, who's 10. And we're going to be reading the book Scaredy Cat Splat by Rob Scotton. We're in the state of Illinois, so there's actually several standards that it encompasses, everything from teaching a child to listen to helping them ask questions, to learning new vocabulary. But in this lesson, the main focus is going to be teaching the story elements of beginning, middle, and end. And so we're going to start with the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and read the story. We'll talk about some of the new words that are in there. There's a couple of them like tremble that we'll talk about. And there's another one. What was the other one? We'll get to it. And then once we read all the way through the story, we'll discuss the elements of the actual book itself. Like, what is this? And what is this? And what are those pages in between? And where is the beginning and the middle and the end? So I'm going to go ahead and start. Are you ready? Okay. All right. Scaredy Cat Splat. It says it again. What's it say?
Scaredy Cat Splat.
Scaredy Cat Splat. What's he wearing?
He's wearing a hat.
He's got a hat. Who's that?
Seymour.
Ah, it's his friend. What is he?
He's a mouse.
What's that?
A spider and a pumpkin.
And it says it again. Scaredy Cat Splat. Mom! Cried Splat. There's a scary spider on my jack-o'-lantern. He's small and hairy with really funny eyes. Splat's voice wobbled with worry. But you're small and hairy with really funny eyes, said his mom. Splat thought for a moment. But I haven't got 8 legs, he replied. If you had, would you be a scary spider too? Teased his mom. Splat made a scary spider face. Does it look scary? Yeah. Splat's mom caught the spider under a glass jar. She looked closely at the spider. Splat looked closely at the spider. It didn't look so scary now that it was trapped. What's the spider look like now?
Big.
He is big, but what's his face look like?
Scared.
He looks a little sad, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's stuck. Poor spider. Can I take the spider to school for Halloween? Asked Splat. We've all made jack-o'-lanterns, and everyone is dressing up in costume. And Mrs. Wimpy Dimple is going to tell a ghost story, and there's a prize for the scariest cat, and I want to be the scariest cat. So can I please take this spider to school? Please, he added without taking a breath. Okay, said his mom. Where's your Halloween costume? Asked his mom. Splat pulled a broom from the closet and sat astride it. Aha! Look at me! I'm a scary witch's cat, cried Splat, racing around the kitchen. You certainly are scary, said his mom. Does he look scary? No. Then, disaster struck. Splat tripped over his tail and with a crack, the broom handle snapped in two. His scary witch's costume was ruined. Oh. Now I've got nothing to wear, Splat groaned. Even Seymour couldn't console him. That's a weird word. What's console mean? Do you think he's sad? Do you think his friend Seymour might try to cheer him up? Yeah, so that's what console means. It means to cheer him up.
Okay.
Mom, Splat's mom had an idea. She stuffed some old socks with scrunched up newspaper and tied them to Splat with a string. There, she said. Splat looked in the mirror and jumped back with a squeal. Woo! I scared myself, he said. He looked again, and this time he smiled. Look at me, he cried, waving his socked legs. I'm a big, scary sock spider. Does he look scary?
He looks funny.
He looks funny. Splat placed his jack-o'-lantern and spider on his wagon and set off to school. He's got a lot of stuff to bring. On the way, he met Spike, dressed as a mummy, and Plank, dressed as a skeleton. They're pretty scary, said Splat. Seymour nodded and trembled a little. What does tremble mean?
To shake.
To shake. Is he shaking because he's cold? No. Is he scared?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a little. But I'm scarier, said Splat. Splat made his scariest spider face and growled. Grrr. Scary spider face. Spike and Plank didn't even blink. Instead, what do you think they did? Boo! Cried Spike. Boo! Cried Plank. Splat yelped and jumped high in the air and landed in a heap. Aw, poor Splat. Aw, Splat sighed. Spike and Plank are both scarier than me. Seymour nodded and trembled a little bit more. You think Seymour's scared? I'll never win the prize for scariest cat, said Splat. Poor Splat. The sock spider, the skeleton, and the mummy continued on their way to school. It's an interesting looking parade, isn't it? In class, everyone showed their jack-o'-lanterns. They all have different faces, don't they?
Like Splat.
Splat's jack-o'-lantern made everyone laugh. Aww, Splat sighed. I'll never win the prize for scariest cat. Seymour shook his head. Everyone placed lights in their jack-o'-lantern, and Mrs. Wimpy Dimple turned down the lights and whispered in her best ghost story voice. In the dark, dark woods, there's a dark, dark house. In the dark, dark house, there's a dark, dark room. In the dark, dark room, there's a dark, dark box. And in the dark, dark box, there's a ghost! Oh, did it scare you? Mrs. Wimpy Dimple cried, and the class jumped with fright. Splat was so startled, his tail whipped around and sent his jack-o'-lantern spinning through the air. And what goes up must come down, and splat. Where did it land?
On his head.
On his head, that's right. So what is he now?
He's a jack-o'-lantern spider.
He's a jack-o'-lantern spider. Unable to see anything, Splat stumbled around in the classroom. Everyone shrieked as the pumpkin head glared at them and made strange wooing noises. Are they all scared now?
Yes.
Mrs. Wimpy Dimple turned on the lights and lifted up the wayward jack-o'-lantern. The shrieking turned to laughter as Splat fell out. Calm down, hushed Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. Now, class, who should win the prize for being the scariest cat? Who do you think won?
Splat.
Splat! They all cheered. And look, he's got a trophy. Who's up there?
Seymour and the spider.
Seymour and the spider. Does Seymour look happy to see the spider?
No.
I don't think so. Does the spider look happy to see Seymour?
Yes.
And that is the end, isn't it? There's no more story. So today we're going to learn something new. We're going to learn the parts of the book. What is this?
The cover.
This is the cover of the book. And this book gives us a nice picture of Splat on the cover, and his pumpkin, and Seymour, and the spider. The cover tells us a little bit about the book, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it tells us who wrote it. Okay, that's good. And then we open up the page. Is this where the story begins?
No.
No, that just tells us the title again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this where the story begins?
No.
No, there's no words here, are there? Is this where the story starts?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's right.
You think that's where the book starts? I don't know. I see the title again, and I see the name of the nice man who wrote the book, but I don't see it telling us anything about the story yet. Let's turn the page. Oh, look! Now we're learning something new. This is where we first start our story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you remember what happened when we first started reading our story?
There was a spider on his jack-o'-lantern.
There was a spider on his jack-o'-lantern. And did that scare Splat?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's this big, hairy, fuzzy spider on his jack-o'-lantern. And then what happened?
His mom caught it.
His mom caught it. And did his mom kind of tease him a little bit?
Yes.
She says, well, you're fuzzy and big. That must mean you're scary too, right? So this is the beginning of the story. If we were to keep going, we would find out what happens next. And if we were to keep going a little bit more, we would find out what happened after that. And then, when we get to the oh, that's the last page. Is that the last page of our story?
No.
No, that's just the back cover, isn't it?
Mhm.
There's the last page of our story, and it tells us how the story ends, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. So today, you get to do something special. I'm going to give you a cool thing called a story map. And you are going to help me get through the story by either drawing me a picture or writing the words of what happened in the very beginning of Scaredy Cat Splat. And then, tomorrow, we're going to write another part to fill in the map, and the day after that we'll do another part, and then we'll finally finish with the end. But every story has to have a beginning, doesn't it? Because otherwise, it would never start, huh?
No.
Okay, all right. Are you ready to start your assignment?
Yeah.
Outstanding. Good job. Okay, so unfortunately I am displaced at the moment, and I have no printer, so I cannot print out the story map to show you, but it is the story map that goes through beginning, then, next, and end. I like this story map better because it uses 4 parts. I think story maps that only do beginning, middle, and end, I think when students get to that middle section, it confuses them because, well, the middle's huge. I think it's easier for students to break it down into 2 different sections before it gets to the very end. So if we were in class, Emily would now be going to her desk, and she would now be drawing Splat with his spider and his pumpkin. So thank you very much.